Today we're going to talk about writing linear equations. We're going to start easy and we're going to look at writing the equations when we have the graph. So if we use slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, then there are two things that we need to know. We need to know the slope and we need to know the y-intercept. So let's go ahead and get started with our first example. So in this example we have this line that's graphed, and we have to identify where it crosses the y-axis. So remember, the y-axis is the vertical axis. So we look at the line and we find that it crosses at -4. So our y-intercept then is 0, -4. So that means that b is -4. And then the next thing we have to do is look at our slope, identify our slope. And so if we start at the -4 and we want to try to find a point that crosses the little grid lines right at the corner. So if you notice, it crosses right here at this 1, -2. So let's count that slope. So if we start at -4, we're going to go up 1, 2, and we're going to go over 1. So our slope is going to be 2/1, which is just 2. Well, now we have the information that we need to plug into y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept, and so it will look like this: y equals 2x minus 4. Simple as that. Let's take a look at another example. So again, here's our line, and we want to identify where does it cross the y-axis. And so I come over here and I look, and it looks like it crosses right there at 1. So I know that my y-intercept is 1. The value of x is 0 because we didn't go left or right any, and we just went up 1. So the y-intercept is 0, 1. That means our b value is 1. So b is 1. Now, this line has a negative slope because it goes down from left to right. So if we drew the little guy walking, he would walk downhill from left to right. So I should have a negative slope. So let's start at 1, and then let's see if we can find a point that crosses at one of the grid lines, exactly at one of the grid lines. So if I just follow this line down, it looks like right there it crosses at a grid line, and that looks like the point 1, -2. So let's count to see how we get down to that point. So we're going to go make the up and down move first. So we're going down, so it's 1, 2, 3 down. So that would be -3 because we went down. And then I go over 1 to the right. So that's a +1. So my slope is -3/1, which reduces to -3. So remember, we always want to reduce our slopes to lowest terms. Well, now I know b and I know m, so I'm ready to plug it into y equals mx plus b. So I get y equals -3x plus 1. And that's our linear equation for that line. Let's take a look at another example. So example 3. So again, we're going to identify the y-intercept. It crosses the y-axis right here at 2. So that is the point 0, 2. This is a positive slope line. If the guy were walking on it, he would go uphill from left to right. So let's try to find a point along this line that crosses at a grid line right at the corner. So right here it looks like it crosses. So let's count from our original point right here at 0, 2. We're going to go up 1, 2. Up is a positive move, so that's +2. And we're going to go over 1, 2, 3 to the right. So right is a positive move. So my slope is 2/3. 2/3. Now I know b, I know m. I can write my equation. Y equals 2/3 x plus 2. And let's take a look at our fourth example. Again, let's identify where it crosses the y-axis. Looks like it crosses right here at 4, so that's the point 0, 4, which means b equals 4. This is a negative slope line because the little guy would be walking downhill from left to right, so I should have a negative slope. So let's see if we can follow this line until it crosses exactly. Looks like it's right here at the point 1, 1. So let's go back up to 0, 4 and count our way to that other point. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3. So we went down 3, so that's a negative 3. And we're going to go to the right 1, so that's a positive 1. So our slope is negative 3 over 1. Or when we reduce it, we get negative 3. Now I know b, I know m, so I can fill it into my slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and I get y equals negative 3x plus 4. Moving on to example 5. So example 5, this is a unique line. This is a vertical line. So if we remember when we were graphing lines, a vertical line always means x equals some number. So all I have to decide is what's that value of x. So I look at this point right here, and it crosses the x-axis at 3. And all those points along this line have an x value of 3. So that means that the equation of this line is just x equals 3. So the key thing is just to remember, if it's vertical, we're just looking at the value of x. So now all you have to keep straight is vertical is x, which means horizontal should be y, which is our next example, example 6. So here's my horizontal line, and so I come down and it crosses the y-axis at negative 2. So with a with a horizontal line, we only are going to look at the y value. Well, it crosses at negative 2, so my equation for this horizontal line is going to be y equals negative 2. And it's really that simple. So now I'm going to give you some time to practice some of these on your own. So remember, all you're looking for is where does it cross the y-axis, and that will be my b value. And what is the slope? And that will be my m value. And then I just plug those in to y equals mx plus b. So good luck on practicing some of these.